guys, I'm Jolene Smith and I'm with the Great Mississippi Tea Company. I'm here today with co-owner Timmy and we're here to talk about his great teas. Jason's also nearby and he'll be joining us on other videos that we do, but today we're going to specifically sit down and Timmy's going to talk tea with us. Sound about right?
That's good.
Awesome. So bear with us. This is our first time doing this as a group. We're getting used to this new video thing, but we want to come to you guys on a more regular basis and talking to you about tea. Timmy, I find, has all these fantastic, actually Timmy and Jason, just depends on which day of the week you're talking to them, but both of them have all this fantastic knowledge on tea. And I personally am somebody who's that kind of the behind the scenes person that really doesn't know a lot about tea, but I'm learning it as I go. So today we're going to talk about, which one? We're talking about
Mississippi Empress.
Mississippi Empress. So I'm excited about this one because to me, it's not your typical tea, right? Right. This is kind of a different tea. So Timmy's going to walk us through the Empress Oolong, right?
Correct.
Awesome. See, I can get this. Lots of tea fans out there are like, gasp, she doesn't know tea. But I'm learning as we go here. So hopefully some of our audience also will be new to tea and they'll get some learnings along the way and you'll be so impressed by Timmy's knowledge and Jason's over time. So, okay, well, let's get right into it. Let's talk about this tea. So first off, tell us about Oolong. Like, why Oolong?
So Oolong teas, for many years, people just kind of don't know what they are. So they'll look at them and they'll be like, oh, okay, and they'll just kind of pass over it and they won't even try it. Oolongs usually are typically very popular once you can get someone to actually taste it.
Really?
So a lot of times when we do the farmers markets and stuff like that, and we have a lot of them, we bring samples and people will be like, oh, I want to try this one, I want to try this one, and we'll ask them, have you ever tried an Oolong before? And they'll, most of the time, the answer is no. We're like, well, you need to try it. And 9 times out of 10, they buy some when they're there as well.
Really?
Because they just don't know what it is. A lot of people see Oolong as kind of between black and green. And although on oxidation level, that's correct, it's not just in between black and green. So the method of processing Oolong is completely different. So there's a sun withering step and there's a tumbling step, and the tumbling doesn't happen just once, it's multiple times to create bruising around the leaf and leave the majority of the leaf, depending on your oxidation level of the process, to get the certain floral notes and everything that you want in it. And then there's also a rolling and heating step back and forth to get the tea shaped and to keep it pliable and to get some of those roasty toasty notes, and depending on how toasty you want it and everything else. So there's a lot of different steps when it comes to Oolong. It's not just, oh, it's between black and green. It's not that simple.
Yeah, and as I understand it, this is a tea that's normally made in another country. Somewhere else? This is not normally found in the U.S., is that right?
Correct. So Oolong Taiwan is one of the most famous areas for oolongs. You do get them in other countries, but Taiwan is one of the more famous.
Gotcha.
Because their oolongs tend to be very highly floral, and one of ours is actually much higher floral. Empress is actually based on some of the palettes that we've come across where they're not particularly keen on that really high floral note.
Yeah.
But they do like maybe more of the spiciness that you can get in an oolong, or more of the roastiness that you can get in some of the oolongs. So we kind of geared this one more towards the people that are not as fond of the floral, but it is still there.
Wow. Well, now we're going to try this tea today, aren't we?
Yes.
Okay, let's give it a try and let you can hear what the tea person that really has no clue about tea thinks of this tea. And Timmy along the way will tell us exactly how to properly make tea. Now, a lot of people don't realize, and I certainly did not realize, that tea is actually tastes the best when you heat it to the right temperature with the right amount of tea, right amount of water, and then steep it for the right amount of time. This isn't just a matter of throw a bag in a cup and let it go. There is actually a process here, and there's definitely no bags involved. So let's get started. Let's make a cup of tea.
Absolutely. So the set that we're going to use today is a Taiwanese set. So you have your tasting cups, Then you have your steeping vessel, which is a Gaiwan. You also have smelling cups that go along with it. And then you have your share pot. So when you typically do this, though, you start off by cleaning all of your stuff.
Oh, wow.
So you just, that's the good thing about a Taiwanese set, is everything is actually clean. A lot of Chinese sets have this as well, and it's a bucket underneath here as well, kind of. So you just clean everything off, get it all nice and good and going, and depending on the person will depend on also if they clean their tea off or not. So I typically don't do that, because not with our tea anyways.
Yes.
So originally people said, oh, you do it because it awakens the tea and everything. No, most of the time it was done because in storage containers and stuff like that in the olden days, it wasn't actually properly stored. So a lot of dust and stuff got on your tea. So they would wash it essentially first to get rid of all of that dust.
Gotcha.
So when you're dealing with more teas these days, if you're really sure about where it came from, it's not that big of a deal to rinse it. So this is from our farm. It came out of a bag. I know where it came from. I'm not too worried about rinsing it.
Obviously, you're very close with this tea.
So I don't mind. So when you're using a Gaiwan, though, Gaiwan style, you use a lot of tea, and it's very quick, short steeps. So you steep it just for, 30 seconds or so. And steeping it this way, you actually get a whole lot of steeps out of this tea. Or any tea, really, that you steep this way. And then into your share pot.
Neat. See, I would have had that spilling everywhere. But that's why you have this base thing that basically is like a drain.
And then you can share your tea. And the thing with your smelling cups is you can actually set them over your teas and give them a few minutes, and then the smell is captured within your smelling cups.
Okay, I have to try this. Oh, you can smell a tea in the cup. That's funny. All right. Oh, and I noticed you slurped.
Yes.
That's the proper way I've learned to drink tea.
To taste it.
Yeah.
It's the introduction of air.
Right.
So it cools it off and everything all at one time. So it gets it into your nasal cavities. It gets it into everything. So you're tasting and smelling it all at one time. And it, like I said, it helps to kind of cool the tea a little bit. Because fresh out of there, it's pretty hot.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to slurp this time. Well, it definitely tastes like tea. I can kind of taste the floral, yes.
So it's, like I said, this one is particularly a much milder oolong. So it has those floral notes in it, but you kind of get a spice quality that comes into it. So a lot of people say like a cinnamon or something like that, but there's almost a heat that comes to it. Very cooling to your mouth. And a lot of people don't understand. They're like, you're drinking something hot. How is it cooling?
Yeah.
And it's so when you drink some teas and you breathe in, it's a warm sensation.
Yeah.
And then some things, when you drink it and you breathe in, it's a cooling sensation. So cinnamon is typically warm. So when you breathe in after having something cinnamon, it's very warm to your mouth. When you drink something that has mint or spearmint in it and you breathe in, it's very cooling. So this particular Empress is actually more of a cooling effect when you breathe in. So it's not like you're feeling warmth, you're feeling the cold, almost like the spearmint and stuff.
Gotcha. I found it very smooth, very nice, very good cup of tea. It was excellent. Okay, so now you heated this. Now, let's say you don't have the fancy set, and you're heating a cup of this for at home. What is the temperature, and how long do you steep it for?
So most kettles these days, if you buy them in Walmart or wherever, are very much like the ones that we use, and they have the temperature ranges on them. But if not, that's still perfectly fine. You bring your water to a boil, and oolongs are typically steeped around 190 degrees. So you want to bring it to a boil and then let it sit for 5 minutes. At that 5 minutes, you're usually around 190 degrees, and you can pour it over your tea and start your steeping process. If you do not have a steeper, you can pour it into your cup, pour your water into it, and let it steep, and then you can strain it off if you want to. Some people leave it in there, and they'll just drink because they drink their tea fast enough. But other people do strain it off. You can also do it as a cold tea if you wanted to.
Really?
That just takes longer.
Mm-hmm.
So you would put your tea, it needs to be at least an hour. If not, if you can do it overnight, maybe 6 hours or more, that's better. The good thing about cold brewing is it doesn't allow the bitter catechins to pass through. So if there is any bitterness in any tea really, you can actually steep it cold brew style and the bitterness won't be there. And people do that all day long. We actually sell little tea tumblers now.
Yes.
And you put your tea in the bottom, close it, and you pour your water in it, and you carry it around with you all day. And as you need more water, you pour more water in it, and you just continuously steep until there's just nothing left to it. But the easiest way, if you don't have one, is that way. It usually takes, Empress is usually about 3 minutes, what we call big pot style, which is the Western style, where you're doing it in a big container, or individual cups. So this way, a small pot or Gaiwan style.
Neat. Awesome. So this tea is currently available. Limited quantities, I would say, probably because you're getting towards the end of your season.
Yes.
So, but there is still some of this oolong available. There's the other oolong available for now. So you can get that on the Great Mississippi website, and that is greatmississippiTeaCompany.com. Look at me go, right? Did I say it right? Bear with me, folks.
Mississippi is abbreviated, though.
Oh, yeah.
So
okay.
it's Great MST Company.
Perfect. So you can get it there. Visit our website. We'll make sure it's included down below. Other than that, anything else that you want to add?
Nope, I think that's about it there.
Awesome. Well, great chat with Timmy today, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, put it in the comments down below. There's 2 things we'd love to know. If you've tried an oolong before, what kind of flavors do you get from it? What flavor notes come up for you? And and the other one was just that if you enjoyed this video, let us know, because we would like to know, should we keep doing them? Should we do more? Awesome, guys. Well, that's it. Take care.
Take care. Thank you.